WWE is facing a problem that it has rarely had to confront in its modern era. This thing is that WrestleMania no longer feels like a guaranteed sellout. Now, it could sell out, but this year's WrestleMania is being positioned in a very different way. Let's get into it. So what's going on with these low ticket sales reportedly for WrestleMania 42? This is Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Kevin Kellum. I want to know, what is the biggest wrestling event you have attended live? Let us know in the comments below. What do you think of WrestleMania ticket prices? What do you think of ticket prices in general in entertainment? Sound off. I want to hear from you. I'll be in the comments as well. Subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling with those notifications on so you know when we drop new videos just like this. Also, hit that like button. You know, the thumbs up? Yeah, hit that. WrestleMania was the destination. It likely still is. It's not just another premium live event, and we're not trying to tell you that this year's WrestleMania won't be a huge event, if not the biggest pro wrestling event of the year. But today, that aura could be cracking. Reports of lower than expected ticket sales at this time of the year and the buildup to WrestleMania have triggered internal concern. Maybe emergency meetings you've heard about, the last minute discussions, promotional changes, and maybe even creative direction changing. When the biggest show on the calendar year of pro wrestling is dictating booking changes instead of benefiting from long-term planning, it may be signaling deeper issues than just a slow valley in the overall ticket sales cycle. There are significant reasons both outside and inside of WWE for why this may be happening. The tickets are expensive. The ticket prices for WrestleMania have risen sharply in recent years, and the current speculated assumption is that die-hard fans will accept these increases without issue. That assumption may no longer be valid across the board. As of mid-February 2026, only about 36 to 37,000 tickets have been sold for each night of this year's WrestleMania, roughly 17,000 fewer than that number for last year's build to WrestleMania 41 around this time. So, with time ticking down for WrestleMania 42, there's a hope that could change. WWE leadership reportedly convened company-wide meetings around or on February 11th to respond to this. Price and interest issues lie at the core. Ticket prices have soared. The current get-in price for maybe each night of WrestleMania at their cheapest is around $264 to $276 US, and that is for each individual night of Mania. That's not the two-night double ticket, with the average WrestleMania ticket rising from $169 in 2023 to $582 in 2025. You also have to factor in the simple doubling of WrestleMania a few years ago into a two-night affair that also is boosting the spending from fans. Attending WrestleMania involves much more than just buying a ticket. It's a full travel commitment that includes flights, hotels, food, taking time off work. It's also in the same very expensive destination city of Las Vegas, which hosted last year's WrestleMania. And maybe for some fans who make the annual pilgrimage, it could be less appealing for them to go back to the same city where they spent so much money last year, when going to WrestleMania and taking in the host city is a part of the appeal of going to WrestleMania. But still, costs are the real concern, and they're increasing everywhere. Yes, this is a general economic trickle-down effect for fans who are very carefully weighing the value of going, and overall the economic weight of it is the major factor. It is present in almost every part of American life, including live entertainment and tourism for big mega events like this. The economics of live events and the sheer frustration over getting tickets to any high-demand event has made the secondary resale market take over the price of tickets to the point where the face value price of any big concert or major WWE show like this are basically surging to the benefit only of the resellers, with passionate fans having to fit the bill. Go look up how upset fans of the K-pop group BTS are over the recent swarm online to get tickets to their sold-out stadium tour. Yes, eventually the passion of fans can be outweighed by the prices in front of them. However, there's issues within WWE. It's hard to explain the discomfort around this year's build to Mania. The larger issue is emotional investment. The showcase of the Immortals that WrestleMania is historically thrived on anticipation. you are going to get the biggest matches of the year with the most intense storylines and significant outcomes by the time we get to Mania. That is a conditioned expectation that gets bigger and bigger the more the lore of WrestleMania grows. But by this year's Royal Rumble season in January, the ultimate set-off into the road to WrestleMania, clearly the temperature wasn't red hot with fans. Rivalries were heating up a bit, dream matches were kind of coming into focus, but this time the momentum is less than it has been before, and that's thin to say the least. With the show coming up in April, the landscape still feels oddly static. Outside of Roman Reigns challenging CM Punk, there is little that feels urgent or unpredictable, though being predictable for WrestleMania isn't a bad thing either. But there's nothing really concretely ironed out to anticipate beyond that one big major match. When two stars carry the emotional weight of an entire WrestleMania, currently as we record this, it exposes how thin the perceived depth of anticipation has become. It's not like the company's lacking in star power and matchups they can make. The only defense of this could be that WWE simply has so much weekly TV and several premium live events before we get to Mania, with a 24/7 social media mega presence to build Mania, that hammering out all of that right off of Royal Rumble in a media cycle that is, like we just described in 2026, overcooking it too early before fans even get to the plate of WrestleMania. Yeah, the ties also go into booking fatigue. WWE's long-term storytelling philosophy has emphasized patience and extended arcs, which work for weekly television and can be effective when the payoff feels monumental. But have they stretched too far? Is that patience turning into stagnation? Fans watching weekly television are not seeing enough of escalation to justify those conditioned WrestleMania-level stakes. Championships feel frozen in place, challengers rotate without gaining that type of momentum we feel matches this season, and the feuds are simmering, not boiling over in the anticipation pot. The whole masked man shenanigans going on with the Vision feels interesting, but does it feel WrestleMania interesting? Especially if the final reveal comes either at or around WrestleMania and it doesn't meet those expectations that fans float over this time of year. When WrestleMania approaches without clear climaxes in place, it can risk feeling like something you see on television or on other premium live events. Like I said, those WrestleMania standards are pretty high. Oversaturation is now a real problem for WWE to satiate both diehard and casual fans who have infinite streaming entertainment options anywhere else. The backstage chaos reported around ticket sales is a natural response to these type of pressures. But when numbers lag, departments scramble, marketing pushes are adjusted, creative plans are even revisited. Maybe that erodes some confidence. And if fans feel some uncertainty, why would they as consumers feel confident spending top dollar? To reverse this trend, WWE must reframe WrestleMania as an extravaganza again, not just another stop in the schedule. This does not mean relying solely on nostalgia or surprise appearances, but it does mean committing to scale and ambition. The WrestleMania card overall must communicate that these outcomes matter more than anything else all year. Fans are not just buying seats, they're buying that feeling of witnessing history. A pricing strategy needs a little bit more nuance. Premium tickets will always exist, but value perception must match that cost. Fans are willing to pay, but only when the return feels undeniable. The company has all the resources and the talents to course correct, but it requires recognizing that the loyalty is no longer automatic. Modern fans are informed, both casual and diehard, and they are selective and driven by value. They will show up when they believe the show justifies the investment. WrestleMania must earn that belief again. If not, the most shocking WrestleMania moment this year may not happen in the ring, but in the seats.